Africa, a hazardous expedition into the wilderness. Moving slowly away from civilization, Frank C. Bostock, showman and explorer, heads into uncharted territory. Hidden deep within the tropics of Dahomey, West Africa, is a place angels fear to tread, and according to Mr. Bostock, the devil himself would demand a chaperone. A place of great riches, but even greater savagery, governed by a merciless king who is protected by a ruthless militia of female warriors, the Dahomey Amazons. Amazonian warriors have been famous alike for their prowess and cruelty, trained for their bloodthirsty calling from an early childhood. Frank C. Bostock is no stranger to the hazards of the tropics, a man who will travel to the ends of the earth for the amusement of the crowds who flock to his traveling menagerie. Bostock scours every continent, risking life and limb for the curiosities his audiences so crave. His latest spectacle is one of the King of Dahomey's Amazons. Madame Abomah is a superb specimen of the African negress, who enjoys the distinction of being the tallest woman living, as black as ebony, and endowed with great physical strength combined with a symmetrical molded figure. Formerly one of the attendants and bodyguards of the barbaric King of Dahomey, she became a particular favorite of the monarch and led his army. This extraordinary woman stands over 8 feet in height and can easily support the weight of a man in her outstretched hand. Frank Bostock speaks of the difficulties he encountered while introducing Madame Abomah to polite society. He describes a meeting of minds that would
He could never know you as I do. Yet he breathed you to life with puffs of fear and colonialist exaggeration, evoking you with words that carried me to the heart of a dark continent. I laugh, inside of course, unable to consider that his lie had wings to carry me across the ocean. So long they beckoned, when hope had me rooted in South Carolina, seeking me out of my workplace, asking for the tall cook, bearing promises of a life beyond the shadow of segregation. Oh, I knew the price of being a specimen. But I began to wonder if the human zoo might allow me greater dignity than life as a free woman in the South. See, I had grown peering into the eyes of the enslaved, eyes that had seen so much that every glance dripped sadness, and that I have come to fear my own reflection, certain that one day that deepening would look back at me. They were small men, eager to add me to their big collections. The terms of our liaisons would always be dependent upon deception. For it is not enough that I was conceived not 2 full moons since slavery's abolition, or that I was the first thing that my parents ever owned. Genteel folk must be protected from the realities of slavery, and my own story does not lend well to their entertainment, but to yours. Your legend briefly frees miserable crowds with assurances of their own rightness. He sizes me up in my apron with a director's eye, picturing me beneath the lights. Not yet comfortable with the white man's gaze, I excuse myself to stir the pot and listen to an anxious voice that seeks my attention. Inside me, a covetous Negro squirms and clings defensively to her perch at the foot of the white woman's pedestal. I am not like her. I bow and I clasp my skirt tails to prove it. For though I have released myself of the name of my parents' master, I stay branded by his teachings. I return with enough composure to conceal my interest in his offer and appear attentive as he regales me with his portfolio of 600 beasts. He does not falter as he lists his human stock of snake charmers and tribesmen, secure in his right to amass these trinkets of the earth. Do you believe that these bare hands have caught and tamed a lion? I respond in the only way permissible. Yes, sir. But one has not experienced mediocrity until met with a ringmaster outside his ring. And I know that great spirits are not tamed, but broken. I hurry him towards the finish line, horribly conscious that I am about to become another of his breathing charms. If I must be her, do I have your assurance that Madame Abomah will greet the world with the presence of a lady? Your dignity will not be compromised. I hate you. Yes, I know you are my passage, and that without you I am unworthy of these gowns, this stage. You are cold and distant, unimpressed by the ports on our journey and irritated by my attempts at familiarity. I stumble in your shoes, unable to channel your nobility through the walls of my own ignorance. I call to you, O Amazon, but you never answer, leaving me to grace the stage alone to manifest his hateful adaptation. I try, but you cannot be tempted to defend your status. Your refusal to acknowledge my petulant accusations leaves me envious, for I know I would yield to protest my humanity. And your beauty. To be observed by eyes trained to behold my magnificence. Perhaps I too would radiate that which I had been taught to suppress. Twice. Each night, I watch the crowd trickle away, bellies filled with my pride, sated for the meantime upon this morsel from the colonial banquet. Before sleep, I gently lift my threadbare soul up to the light and examine the wear of their trampling through my substance. I weep, anxious that the spool of dignity I use for my repairs is running thin. You stand with your back to me, unmoved by my despair, until the night arrives when my last thread of virtue is not enough to bridge the tear. Finally, you turn and administer a look so familiar that I know I have offended my mother. I scream out for her, awakening every goddess. And you acknowledge your name by touching your heart and closing your eyes. When they open, the accusation is gone, and we bask in the prism of our reunion. But the sweet bird of truth is waking. She spreads her wings and we are choked by the dust of a million lies. And in truth, I can see that my consumption has weaned a new age of plunderers. Your battles reduce to bloodlust, lest our origins relate the destruction of your kingdom to the expansion of their own. My streaks of self-hatred stand as conspicuous as a white hunter on the savannah. And I am afraid because I am certain that I love myself. I want to run, but you take my hand and tell me to imagine how wonderful it would be to love myself more. When your turn comes to face your truth, you are taken back to a golden age when armies spared their captives' lives and condemned them instead to servitude. From your vantage, you see clearly the temptation of kings and the metal promises that new friends would trade for souls. You witness war become industry and weep as you recognize me as your captive, knowing that on this frontier, the bitterest enemies become brothers and sisters. And now that we are acquainted, the corset that I have stitched myself no longer fits. And as I unpick the threads, they believe that I am unraveling. It is true that my plume has lost its plumpness, and my one good dress is only such from a distance. Yet I, one of Jim Crow's children, can finally gaze upon myself to see my whole beauty. And the deepening in my eyes leads only to emancipation.